You say you want freedom, but every time it shows up in your life, you end up walking away feeling more burdened and controlled than ever before. Today, we're going to work with the maiden archetype to dig into this message so that you can unlock freedom for your life for good. This is your friendly reminder. If you're catching the replay, you can always 2x your speed or click the timestamps below to jump straight to the message. Before we begin, I'm going to jump into the energy I was working with before going live. It's very interesting. Sometimes the energy and the signs and the messages just flow in, and it's very easy. And it's so funny. I'm talking about freedom and blocks to freedom, and I was having blocks to the information, the energy before going live. But some number synchronicities you may be experiencing are 1818 and 911. Card games may be important for you right now. Uno, Rummy, poker, Go Fish. Yeah, that's the only one's coming to mind. The Four of Wands and the Devil came out. I chose to use the Four of Wands in the thumbnail because that's coming home to yourself. That is just celebrating a solid foundation. And that's what we want to do here. A song that I heard a couple months ago, I actually don't remember who it's by. I put it in the description for the video so you guys can check it out. But the name of the song is Go Where You're Wanted. So something along the ideas of go where people are open to receive you and open to receive what you have to offer and open to receive what you have to say. Not where you think you're needed, not where you think you can make an impact, but genuinely where what you have to give is the ground has been laid for people to receive what you have to give. This idea of purging or emptying or releasing came through, and I heard the great emptying. I was like, what is this? The great emptying, but something that's important for someone. And then Ken Honda, I was listening to some of his teachings before going live, and I linked one of his videos that was really great about raising your vibration. And I found it interesting. One of the things that he said to let go of was the idea of surrender. So I don't know, somebody needed to hear that. Maybe go check out the rest of his video because it was really good. Okay. I think that's everything. Yes. We're going to go ahead and do some breath work to ground us into this moment, to guide us into this message, to remind us that our lives are lived now. We're here now. And the body and the breath connect you with that, with now. Okay? The mind can keep you stuck, can keep you trapped, can keep you projecting or reliving. But if you are here in the now, you are truly experiencing. Okay? You're going to do box breathing. Breathe in for 4 through the nose, hold for 4. Breathe out for 4 through the mouth, and then hold for 4. We'll do 3 rounds of this breath. Are you ready? Let's begin. Very nice. You know, when we talk about breath work, we often talk about focusing on the feeling of the breath filling up the lungs and of the body releasing. But can you also sit with the feeling of stillness, the great emptying, the feeling of emptiness, the feeling of the void? Can you sit with that feeling? All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the message from the maiden. What we'll do is pull that message. Then I will, at the very end, pick one card from this vagus nerve deck to help us ground that message into our bodies, into our realities, and carry it forward with us by regulating our nervous system. And then I will open it up to personal readings at the very end. Maiden. What is the message of freedom for this collective? They say they want freedom, whether that's financial, emotional, time. They say they want freedom, and yet they still feel bound to something. Can you please give us clarity on what that is? What are they bound to? What is preventing them from truly experiencing freedom in their lives? Please, Maiden. I just heard don't cancel your appointment. If somebody has an appointment, specifically I heard therapy, but if you have a doctor's appointment, don't cancel that appointment. 2 more, please. We're going to do 6 cards today. It's been kind of a theme lately. 1 more, please. Thanks. We have the 3 of Cups. Oh, this was popping out a lot earlier, and it just made my heart happy, but I didn't feel like it was related to the message, but apparently it is, because here it is again on the bottom of the deck. All right, the first card we have is the 5 of Swords. Then we have the 4 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, which is directly under the 5 of Swords, so that's lots of painful energy there. Oh, I just noticed this. Then we got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. I saw her because she popped out in my pre-work also, but I didn't realize that her counterpart had showed up, King and Queen of Wands. How about that? Oh, that's beautiful. Hearing transformation, transformation, transformation. That's what I just heard when I looked at the King of Wands. Radiant transformation. Okay. Just give me a minute. This energy is so blocked, it's not even funny. It's like clunky and heavy. It's not the right word, but that's what I'm going to use. All right. The 5 of Swords. Yeah. Okay. So back to Ken Honda's message about sacrifice. This card is about winners and losers. Oftentimes pursuing our desires at the expense of others or at the expense of ourselves, right? You desire financial freedom, and so you work, and sacrifice that freedom that you had with your family, the time you had with your family. You sacrifice your body, taking care of your physical body because you're working, or the other way around. You value your children so much that you sacrifice the time with your friends. You sacrifice, you know, a lot of work from home moms, right? Or not even work from home, stay at home moms that sacrifice their careers to take care of their children. This idea of winning and losing, and there must be a sacrifice. First thing I see coming up. Now, what I'm hearing, I'm hearing nothing. I was hearing something and then it just went, it's like, oh, okay. So there's, you're experiencing, oh yes, there's the freedom, but then it's taken away. Oh yes, there's the freedom, but then it's taken away. Oh yes, there's the freedom. And it's like each unlock you experience, whether that's like you've made the next level of income you're looking for in your job, or you finally found someone you can share and spend time with and try to cultivate that relationship. You're like, oh yeah, here's the person that I can invest in. Or if it's getting back into the workforce and you're like, oh, this is the job that really aligns with me. Like you get a taste of what the freedom could be, but then it's taken away. And instead of celebrating the taste of freedom, instead of resting in that freedom state, instead of, yeah, it's like this constant search for more, this constant search for, I need more happiness, I need more money, I need more wealth. You know, you see all these millionaires and billionaires, and there's this funny joke, well, it's not really a joke, it's just a statement. Robin Sharma talks about it a lot. Like, you don't see monks going out looking to make money. Not normally, right? Because they've found something deeper that money can never fulfill. They've found something deeper that relationships can never fulfill. Now, I do believe that a path to achieving money, a path to creating wonderful relationships, the path, not even the path, the skills and the work required to achieve those things do lead you to this same thing that the monks have. This heartbreak, whether that is you lost your job and now you've lost everything you own, you have to file bankruptcy. And depending on your culture, depending on your ideas of what success means, this could be a devastating reality to experience. Ken Honda was sharing how one of his father's close friends was facing bankruptcy, and rather than doing that, he unalived his entire family and himself. That's the weight of shame some cultures carry over something like bankruptcy. So the maiden's inviting you to look at the shame. Oh man, why we got to go there? Look at the shame, whatever the shame is, right? The shame of you can't leave your marriage because that's a failure. You grin and bear it, and you made a commitment, and you stay in that marriage, right? I know people that are, and they carry resentment because, oh man, because they stayed in a marriage they shouldn't have. And then when they see other people make a different choice, they're resentful that, well, I didn't do that. I sacrificed. Why? And it goes back to sacrifice. Stop sacrificing. Oh, man. So look at the shame wherever that's at. If it's the shame of bankruptcy, your worth isn't defined by how much money you make or how much money you lose. Will people have opinions? Yes. Will people say things? Yes. Will people blame you? Probably. And unfortunately, it may be the people closest to you that blame you. If you're going through a divorce, oh my gosh, go where you're wanted. Like if the people around you can't support you in your hardships, if all they are doing is criticizing you and guilt tripping you and trying to manipulate you, go where you're wanted as you are with what you have to bring. In that moment, we were talking about the present moment. In this present moment, the experience that you are experiencing, your reality, go where you're wanted. There are people that will support you in this time. People that, it doesn't matter what your external circumstances are, can always see the internal truth of you, where freedom is always found, right? This King and Queen of Wands, the visionary, the magnetic one. Oh, man. And I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't watch enough of the video to be able to really go into detail. But Ken also had another video about the 3 things holding you back or sabotaging you or something. I don't know. But one of them was the idea of resonance. And in Japan, whenever you are sharing tea with someone, the greatest gift you can give to that guest is how they feel in the moments after the tea is exchanged. That lingering feeling of presence. Now, oneness, being here in the moment, that presence is the greatest gift. And so the people that you need to associate with, the freedom lies in understanding you do not have to continue to sacrifice yourself with going places that don't resonate with you, that drain you. You don't have to keep having arguments over and over and over again to prove a point. You can rest in the sovereignty with these 2 royal beings here. You can rest in the sovereignty of your soul. You know, you can have all the money in the world and have no emotional freedom. You can have all the money in the world and have no mental freedom. You can have all the relationships in the world and have no financial freedom. There are so many ways that our freedoms are tied into the relationships in our lives, whether that's the relationship with money, with people, with work. But what I'm hearing today even when you think you're free, you may not be free. And I'm going to be really transparent and share with you guys what I mean by that. So I have done a lot of intentional work on healing my emotions and healing my relationships and understanding, right? And I thought I was free, that all my relationships, I was free. I had established freedom in those relationships. And I realized just this morning on the way here that I am not free in my relationship with my mother in particular, just to be transparent. Because if I were free, I wouldn't feel resistance in my body to be around her. If I were free, I wouldn't feel the need to stay away. If I were free, I wouldn't feel the need to shrink in her presence. So the idea of you think you're free, but you're not actually free is also coming through. And that ultimately comes down to the understanding that you are not, anything someone can say about you, that's not who you are. That's not what you are. You know, I had an encounter yesterday where I was around someone that I'm around pretty frequently, and they were going off about their political beliefs. I'm not going to go into them right now, but they were sharing their political beliefs with a lot of hatred and bigotry and black and white thinking. Now, my ego identity was rearing at the bit, so ready to just get in a ring with this person and just go to town, right? But my consciousness was aware that that's not who I am, and that's not who that person is. They're experiencing the world through this ego identity where they only see one thing. And a lot of times that's where we think, man, freedom. Yeah. We think we're free to have our own opinions and our own, this is the truth, but no one else is free to have that, right? So yesterday, this real life example, what I did was I just released the need to be right. I released the need to explain or express. I just sat there and witnessed this person without judgment, witnessed their reality. And that was freedom. To be in a situation I wouldn't want to be in, to be in a situation where I'm hearing things that I don't agree with and that could make my body have a response, that was freedom. To say what he says has no response on the stillness within me. What he believes has no correlation to what is actually true. The truth, the vastness of the truth that we all are connected to deep within ourselves. The searching for more will always lead to the searching for more. But if you go where you're wanted and stop sacrificing yourself, and it doesn't mean you don't show up. It doesn't mean you don't put in work. It doesn't mean, and then that is whether that's for making money, that is whether it's for having a relationship with someone. If you're going to do it, do it. If you're going to be in a relationship, commit, show up, put in the effort. But that effort doesn't have to be the same every single day, right? If you can only give 80%, you're giving 100% if you're giving that full 80%. Tomorrow, maybe it's 75. The next day, maybe it's 100%. And that's going to vary. And that's okay. Especially when you understand that freedom comes, because you're never going to get to this place. You're never going to achieve this thing. It is always here waiting on you right now. Right now is free in this moment. And you can look at me and be like, Kayla, I'm incarcerated. How am I free? I think back to Holocaust survivors or people that have been in you know, imprisoned for long periods of time based on their beliefs. What is the thing that can never be taken from a human? Unless, I mean, you can give it up, right? But that is a voluntary giving away of your freedom. But in here, we are in control at all times. Now that's hard to sit with, right? But if you hear stories of people that just got diagnosed with cancer, how can they sit there and say, I am so good. My life is so good. You know how they can do it? Because they're in this exact moment looking at all the things around them that is so good. They are choosing so good in this moment. They are creating that reality in this moment by focusing on so good. The people that were imprisoned, how did they maintain that, right? How did they maintain that state? They have every reason. Nelson Mandela, come on. He had every reason to hate those people, that the guards that tortured him, shamed him. Every reason. But he did what I did in a much larger scale when I said, I stopped judging. I stopped experiencing a response, and he just witnessed, right? You just witness in this moment. This is the reality. But I am beyond that. My soul is beyond that. My soul is so vast. It can never be caged. It can never have its freedom taken away as long as I have the awareness that I am responsible for my thoughts, my emotions, and how I'm reacting to this reality. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull a vagus nerve card. We're going to do vitality with that message about not skipping your doctor's appointment. I feel like we need to do these. One card, please, to help us ground this message in for this collective. I just want to say I love witnessing you guys. It's so much joy. Oh, man. I don't know how to say this word. Psoas safety. Is that how we say that, guys? Psoas. I gotta say it again. The P muscle, which is found deep in your lower back and hip area, is often called the muscle of the soul. What were we just talking about, friends? The soul. Activating your psoas while orienting yourself in the room strengthens the connection between your body and the environment, nurturing a sense of security. Find a comfortable seated position. Place your hands on your hips or at your sides. Slowly turn your torso to the right side, feeling the engagement in your core and subtle stretch along your sides. Focus on your breath as you breathe deeply into the twist. Return to the center and repeat on your left side. Ooh, I like this part. To enhance the practice, as you turn from side to side, look around the room and reassure yourself, I am safe. Oh, that's so good. Oh, so you can put your hands on here and you're going to feel your muscles, right? Pull yourself up. Feel your muscles be tight and you're going to feel the muscles engage. I am safe. Look at the room around you. Look at the space around you while you do this. I am safe. I love that. That's lovely. Thank you, Spirit. All right. We're going to go ahead and open up to personal readings. Let's see. Here we go. Get to these comments. Hi, Kelly. Go fish. And then Kaja, hello. I don't know if you guys are still here or not. Anybody would like a personal reading, just put it in the chat, name and question. I love all those sunflowers, Kaja. It's so funny because I was actually, there we go. don't pronounce the P. Oh, let's see. Psoriasis, is that right? Psoriasis? Psoas? I don't know. Oh, thank you for that, Cecilia. Good to see you here, hon. But yeah, I was just saying sunflowers. I think I'm gonna plant some. It's maybe a little late, but it'll probably be warm enough to still have a harvest, especially if I do a smaller sunflower variety. So Oz. So Oz. All right, guys. So Oz mussel. So Oz mussel. Oh. How are you doing today, Cecilia? Hello. Oh, you love cleaning? Or are you being sarcastic? I definitely don't love cleaning, but my sister-in-law does love cleaning, so I don't know which way to take this. I don't think you love it. That's my guess. Maybe you do. I hope you do, because then you're going to have a great day. You seriously? Oh, that's awesome. Teach me your tricks. Did you have to trick your brain to love it, or does it just like naturally happen? I actually had a cleaning business when I first started getting into entrepreneurship. It's called Best Clean by Far, FARR, because it's my last name, and it had like 5 stars as my logo and stuff. It was super cute. Um, but one thing I will say that I did not expect was how rewarding it was to do that, because if you go and then you clean and then it's automatically looks better, it's immediate, like, what's that called? Instant gratification. So I was like, ooh, this is nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, like, honestly, like right after I started the company, I got pregnant with twins. And I was like, I can't function. What's wrong? Why? And I didn't understand. I was like, why is this so hard? I was just pregnant. This shouldn't be so hard. Because I didn't know I had 2 in there. That's why it was so hard. So I actually closed my cleaning business and didn't end up opening it back up. But I get it, why it can be satisfying. It also like gives you a nice, maybe that's the trick. I just need to remind myself of the end state, right? Remind. Oh, yeah, that'll do for sure. For sure. Was your was your father in the military, or your mom, or both? And I guess did you grow up on military bases? I was born on a military base in Arkansas, in Jacksonville. And then like 2 years later, when my sister was born, they stopped delivering babies on the base, and she had to go to the city. But we were not. Yeah, I guess. Did you have like a military multiple generations? Because that would even make more sense then, for sure. I find cleaning, like wanting to clean, like I'll get really strong urges randomly. Oh, neat. That's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. We went, where was it? I think it's St. Helena. at the bottom of South Carolina, and it's directly, like where we were staying, the house was directly across the street from, is it Fort Sumter? I don't remember. They actually were still doing training. I think it was Marines that were training there. I can't remember. But that was cool because we could hear them out doing like their drills and stuff. I'm sad Kelly left us in I think it was Kaja. That was who here earlier. Yeah. It would be nice to have a little three-way conversation. Yeah, I actually was, I'm just telling you my whole life story. I was in marching band, so I marched for a while. I loved marching. It was so awesome. I was, my first career job, my coworker was in the military, and not like while we were together, but she had like served in the military. And she was like, "You missed your calling, Kayla. You should have been a drill sergeant." I was like, "Yeah, probably should have been, but that's okay." Yeah, yeah. Like balance is everything too. The cadence does. Kind of like the repetition of sound, kind of. And also, like it invokes that feeling of patriotism too. My dad was in the Air Force. That was Air Force Base that I was born on. What, I don't know enough about bases. What military was your branch was your father in? Is he still alive? I think you said your mom was 91, right? Well, I actually have autism and ADHD also, like you. I just didn't know I had autism until after I had started the channel. Um, I would say my ADHD superpower is like the energy I bring to a project, probably. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. My grandmother actually passed away on New Year's Day too. It was New Year's Day 2015. A few years later than that. But no, that would be my autism coming out that she was talking about because I was very organized and good to see like inefficiencies and that's also pattern recognition. That could be the ADHD too, but I'm curious, Cecilia, how has autism and ADHD showed up differently in your life? Like, in which ways do you see them as wonderful blessings to your life, and in which ways do you see them as unique challenges? Honestly, I love both of mine pretty much. Like, even though there are challenges, like I just love my experience of life. So I really am so thankful that I came in with both. Well, I thank your father for his service. That's why I asked if he was alive. I was going to tell you to thank him for me. You don't have to book a reading with me. I want to do once we have a larger community. Actually, I actually may would you be open to like an interview or something? because I was thinking about doing Zoom meetings and like having like community meetings where we just get to get together and talk, and I get to see you guys, not just you see me. You can book a reading if you want, though, but I'm just saying you don't have to just to tell me what I asked you. I just think it's an interesting conversation. We don't, I know I'm not a podcast channel, but I just would love to interview different women and learn their experiences and how it's been a unique challenge and how it's been a unique blessing. I know a lot of women because for my ADHD book, I had people like people in my network I reached out to and found out women that had ADHD to ask them to review my book for me, so I could interview them as well. I think it would be so helpful too. Like, obviously, everybody has wisdom to share with the collective, and we get great advice, and there's these big channels that there's so much information from. But at the end of the day, it's still your journey. And while we can all find wisdom in somebody else's journey, the more people's stories that are told, the more experience that is shared, the more of that specificity could resonate with more people, I think. Cecilia, I don't think I have your email. My email is listed in the description. If you would just send me an email, that way we can kind of talk back and forth about this, because I would love to do like an interview with you, especially since you're 65. You have twice as much, almost twice as much years of experience as me. So I feel like that would just be so valuable to share with everybody. You don't have to, but if you want to, feel free to. All right. Do you want to do a private or a personal reading right now, Cecilia? Or whoever else is watching? Oh man, I can't imagine. I mean, I know I was technically late diagnosed for my 30s, but I can't imagine going that long. Did you carry a lot of shame for comparing like yourself to others and like your ability, what you can do and can't do? Did you carry a lot of shame for that? Yeah. Are you aware of like the hormonal influence on your symptoms? The drop in estrogen makes it harder as we get older. Have you pursued medication at all? You can. Thanks. I love that. But I would still like to do a personal reading for you too right now. And thank you for that, Cecilia. That's an honor to me. So thank you. I have, yes, okay. Was that a general reading request, or do you have a specific question? Mm. Mm-hmm. For sure. I will say, when it comes to like hormones and stuff, I've been exceptionally blessed. Some people wouldn't look at it that way, but I've been exceptionally blessed to have a very high estrogen cycle. And so the first 2 weeks of my cycle, I am unstoppable, like superwoman. And then the second 2 weeks of my cycle, I am barely able to function. You lived near both Greenvilles? Really? That's pretty cool. The Greenville in South Carolina and the Greenville in what is it, North Carolina or Tennessee? I think it's North Carolina, right? Yeah. There is an interesting connection. I was so funny. Like I'm getting to talk about this with you. I was just thinking about, well, while the channel grows in the area that I'm going to take it and things like that, I want to do meetups, like local meetups with people. Um, because when I'm doing lives like this, I don't get to see your face and experience like you. I get to have a message with you, but I really believe in in-person connection because there's so much lost through the screen. It's okay. My mind does it a lot. And we just witness it and say, oh, it went off. Welcome back, friend. North Carolina. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Um, I had a friend that I grew up with that actually moved to Greenville, North Carolina. Well, friend. I mean, do you have like a tendency to call everybody your friend, even though they're not actually your friend? Like you wouldn't really tell them lots of stuff. I do. That's interesting. You're in Pennsylvania now. Why are you in, like, how did you end up there? Is that where you're from, or did you just end up there because I want to hear your story, Cecilia? Let me know. I know it's not easy to type stuff in the chat to have a conversation. So thanks for indulging me. You have family in Travelers Rest? No way! You have family in Travelers Rest? That's where I live. That's so cool. That's awesome. Are you related to Brian? He doesn't live in Travelers Rest now, though, I don't think. I worked with a guy for a few years named Brian Raby. Not even a few years. I think it was just a few months. But his family, I think, lives in Hendersonville or Mills River, North Carolina, or something. That's so cool. Well, if you come visit your family, you better let me know because we'll meet up and we'll record a session for the channel. You do have to write a book. Please do. Write a book. I'll tell everybody about it. I wish there could just be professional friend. Because I would do that. What are you going to write a book about? Your life? Is this about Brian? Because if it is, I'm not kidding. If it's about me living in TR, I'm not kidding. I went to TR high school. I love it. I love your what is it? Oh, what's the word? Candidness. No shit. Raby Construction. No. Even if it's Brian, I don't think it's the same one. I was working in contract manufacturing at Ascent Naturals, and he came in to work with us. I'm gonna go look at Raby Construction now. Like, hey, Cecilia's awesome. Have you called her lately? Mhm. Ah, gotcha. Well, darling, I think you're the only one here. Do you want a personal reading today? Well, let me know if you just want a general reading. I did get, when I split the deck earlier, I got the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Three of Cups. So if there's something bothering you that you're worried about letting go of, just know when you let go of something troublesome, it makes room for something beautiful to come in. Oh, New York. It's interesting. I went to New York City one time on a school trip. Central Park was my favorite part of the trip. But I really want to go to like um, the more West Virginia's so beautiful. I love West Virginia. Honestly, like West Virginia and Tennessee, they're so pretty to me. I love them. I just love mountains, period. And I'm just like rolling hills. Mm. If you'd like a personal reading, put your name and question in the chat. Happy to pull for you. My name's Kayla if you're new here. Me and Cecilia are just having fun chatting in the chat. All right, friends, if you would like a personal reading, please let me know. Happy to pull for you in this moment and share this moment with you, this present moment that we're in. Oh my gosh, that is amazing, Cecilia. I love that. I told my husband he can start calling me Mountain Beauty. It was in a song we were listening to last night. I was like, oh, I like that song. Hello, Nadia. Very welcome, or very happy to have you here today. Argentina. Nice. Cecilia and I are both from the US. All right. Maiden. Is Luciano going to reconnect with Nadia, please? Is Luciano going to reconnect with Nadia, please? Okay. So on the bottom of the deck, you have the Hierophant. This is commitment, right? Tradition, spiritual teachers. But the card that came out for you was the Five of Pentacles. So initially, my response was no. But what I heard when I saw the Hierophant is if you're expecting him to communicate that he wants to commit with you and settle down with you or reestablish some type of previous connection, then that is not necessarily what's going to happen. But if you aren't expressing like, if you aren't expressing, not expressing, if you're not projecting expectation on him, then something that he could reach out in a way that's non-conventional. That's what I heard for you, Nadia. I hope that helps. I feel like there's a really long delay today because you would have to rebuild. Yeah, you can't have it the same way. Yeah. And I feel like right now he might be in the energy where that would be how he would reach out. So there needs to be some growing, some expansion before that reconnection would be beneficial for both of you. Because if he's going to come back in the same energy, that's not going to change anything, right? I'm hearing too, like if that is to happen, it's going to take time. It would be a slow rebuild. So you need to ask yourself if that's something you want to commit to. Like, do you want to put in the time and the effort and the energy to rebuild? And you need to remember you can't do it by yourself. In a relationship, that's two sides that both have to be willing to put in the effort and rebuild. So again, until he's in the correct energy, not leaving you feeling like you're alone, then you don't need to sit around. Yeah. Hello. I'm not sure how to pronounce your username. Put you up on the screen if you're still here. If you have a personal reading request, just pop your name and your question in the chat, and I'd be happy to pull for you. You're so welcome, Nadia. Nadia, I just now read your username, so I was like, wait, who's this? Would you like a personal reading request? The person I have on screen? I don't know if I can say your name right, so rather than embarrass myself, I'm just going to put your name on the screen. Well, it's good to see you. You're always welcome. I'm live Monday through Friday. I normally schedule my live streams ahead of time, so you can always click to be notified when I go live because I'm not the most consistent or reliable for the specific time, right? Time is an illusion. So I tell myself to feel better. I try to be on time, but life happens. So if you just get notified when I go live, then you won't miss the readings. And I do a main reading, and then at the very end, I do personal readings for people. So would love to see you here again, Nadia. I guess this person must have left because I haven't seen any more comments. So I'm going to take their name off. I need to remind myself to stay off my desk because it makes my laptop shake. Okay. Let's see. You're actually new as well. And in this moment, you're just anxious and procrastinating, confused. And you know your name is so random. It's okay. I can hear your anxiety in that statement. Is it Khalil? Is that how you say it? Khalil? I'm sorry you're anxious and you're procrastinating. Sure. Happy to pull a card for you. Khalil. Okay, awesome. Maiden, can we please give the message of the highest good for Khalil today in this moment? There is anxiety and there is procrastination and confusion. We would love peace and initiative and clarity. Any guidance for Khalil right now, please? All right, you have the 10 of Cups. You have the 9 of Wands. What I'm hearing is you don't need to judge yourself so harshly. When the anxiety comes up or the procrastination comes up, yeah, you have the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Khalil, what I'm being told to tell you is when the anxiety arises, you don't have to judge it as bad and you don't have to resist it. In this moment, we can sit with that anxiety and still honor the beautiful things in our lives. We can say, there is anxiety, but there is also joy. There is anxiety, but anxiety can very easily be turned into excitement. A lot of times we misunderstand anxiety as like it's actually excitement. We think it's anxiety. So coming at it from a less judgmental place and a more accepting place, a more welcoming place, and seeing how we can welcome these emotions. Because when we reject them and push them away, anxiety, procrastination, especially when I'm hearing like it's things you actually care about, right? You care about these things. That's why they are showing up. And you've cared about them for a very long time. Very long time. But it's almost like your mind has put up this wall where you're stuck experiencing these things over and over and over again. Yeah, the wounded warrior, over and over and over again. Because you don't welcome it in. You resist it. I'm hearing, look at each thing you're experiencing through a lens of love and say, what message is this thing bringing to me right now? What is this trying to show me? If I were to sit here and say, there is anxiety, I'm anxious. Why am I anxious? Right? If you can't identify why you're anxious, maybe it's not even your anxiety. Maybe you're just super, super sensitive and you're picking up the anxiety of other people. Or maybe you think you're anxious and you're actually really excited about an opportunity, but it's going to make you grow and it's going to make you expand your capabilities. And that makes you, I don't know if I can do it, gives that fear. And so that fear transitions into this procrastination. We're like, oh, well, I don't know if I can do it, so I'm not going to start because I don't want to be proved right that I can't do it. So this pattern over and over and over again. Let's see what you said. Yeah, you're very suspicious. That's what I'm hearing. Like you don't want to welcome it in because you're afraid of the lesson that it's not the lesson, you're afraid of the judgment. Like I feel like did you have a very critical caretaker? It doesn't have to be a parent. It could be a teacher or like a babysitter or sibling. I also heard like if you sit with this, it can be like proving them wrong and you don't want to do that. Like maybe they were very anxious and projected their anxiety onto you, and so you experienced life anxiously because that was their reality. But if you really sat down and asked yourself, is there any harm to me in this moment? Is there any danger to me in this moment? Like looking around and saying, am I actually safe right now? Not mentally safe, just physically safe. Am I physically safe right now? That would lift a lot of that anxiety. And we also have to come to this from a place of understanding that, like, when we experience things, epiphanies, changing the way our beliefs, changing our structures, that always comes with a phase of evaluating and like looking at those past beliefs that came from somewhere. And oftentimes it came from our interactions with our family members. That process is not a process of blaming or throwing shame at someone else or saying that what they did was wrong. Even if it was, that's not what the process is for. The process is for you to bring awareness to where that pattern came from. It's not to blame them. It's not to pass the buck. It's to say, okay, I see where this behavior came from. It doesn't matter if it was good, bad, or indifferent. I see where it came from. And now it's my responsibility to take it into my hands and say, okay, I can turn this to gold. I can turn this to excitement. I can turn this to happiness. I can turn this to joy. I can turn this to satisfaction. And it doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean that my parents are bad or my sister was bad or my friends are bad. It just means this is this right now. I mean, she may have been, right? She may have been. And in that moment, maybe that was the best she could do. Maybe it wasn't. And we're not here to judge that. We're just here to say that was the experience you both went through. And from that experience, this was born. But we can sit with it lovingly and say, yeah. And maybe you've never not acknowledged how hard your life was having a single mom who wasn't emotionally available. Right. But you could blame yourself too and not even realize it. I bet there's some of that there. Khalil, if you have not explored Joe Hudson, check out his work. Joe Hudson and the Art of Accomplishment. Revolutionary things. It's information taught in a very simple way. So, yeah. Shame is oftentimes the bad guy in the corner of our brains running the show. That is correct, yeah. His stuff is phenomenal. And he has lots of things very specific to specific problems. Procrastination is one of them. If you watch his live coaching, it's so good because he breaks it down in real time and you can see the change in people. You can see the body literally like just, like the truth hits them and like it's awesome. I would highly recommend checking out his stuff. It's really great. But I'm sending you so much love. So much love, Khalil. Because I feel like, I don't want to say this word because I feel like it's going to put you on the wrong path, but there is so much potential. Oh, you're welcome. There's so much like potential in your energy. Like in magic, a lot of times they talk about the unborn and the potential of life. I feel the potential of life in your energy. So I think his work could be very helpful in helping you unlock that. That's sweet. Thank you, Khalil. Would anybody else like a reading? Just pop your name and your question in the chat. Happy to pull for you. We've pulled for Nadia and Khalil so far today. Would love to read for you. It would be an honor. Thank you, Khalil. Beautiful. Don't get caught in the achievement trap, though, in the prove it trap. You are completely enough exactly as you are. But the potential to grow is there. The potential to experience much more is there. All right, guys. If no one else would like a personal reading, I think I might be signing off. I do readings Monday through Friday live and do a collective at the beginning. And then I read personal readings at the end. So if you would like to join us again, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you will be notified when I go live, because I have ADHD and I'm not the most consistent at showing up on time. Wait for a few more seconds because there's been a pretty big delay. right, friends. On this channel, always remember, come as you are and stay as you become. See you next time.